Right, good morning to my 23 YouTube followers. Cheers for that, Mum. Thanks for making another account. Love your work. I'm doing interior shit, so I figured I'd take you on a little bit of the journey. So I'm making custom pieces for the... Hang on a sec, cue the music. So, I'm making the centre console. So you see I've got some nice chunky steel here that I've already bent. I did this ages ago. I'm happy with this design. Dodges around the handbrake real nice. It's an R31 handbrake for those who care. So it just bends down the back here. It's going to look very similar in design when it's finished to sort of like a HR console. I made one of these for my brother's HR many moons ago for him to sell it, and I really like the design. What I'm going to do is actually smooth these, so curve them over from the top, leave the bottom edge pretty hard as it is, and just smooth over the top a bit more. And so the sides lay on. Oop, that was cool. The sides lay on, and they're made like I'm just going to wireframe them. So that's the bit I'm building today. There's little tabs here that I welded on. I've got to weld a bunch more on and make everything do it and stuff, and then it'll be removable. And I also want to make a piece to go under here. Alright, so what I want to do is sort of come from here up to under this, just to the back of under that. Now I don't want that piece to actually be noticeable. I want it to push away and just cover all those electronics. There's probably a stack more that's going there once I run a computer to run the EFI. But I've got this like empty spot here where normally the ashtray would be, an EH. And so I'm thinking I want to maybe use a piece of aluminium and just make up a nice bit that's got that same shape to it and bring it across to here, just so it completes it, and put a bit of curve on it, and I can polish it up if I'm keen. And it can have, you know, whatever in it, and either that or I can figure out how to put a cup holder in there or something. I just don't want, when you're selecting one, for it to, when you select number 1 or number 3, I don't want to hit that cup holder if it's out. So that might be okay actually. I don't know. It's all fucking fun and games. Alright, so I'm going to take you through a bit of the process of building this. Here's one I've prepared earlier. So, see this one in here. So, obviously I've got to pin all of this up. So, make the basic shape, then take it out. And then I'll make all of the tabs and attach them to here. So, the tab's just a wrapped around piece of steel with a hole through it and a fastener in it. And I'll pretty much bolt it to here. I'll stretch the material over the whole thing, over the frame, bolt it to here, and then fiberglass it so it holds its shape. And so this is actually around here. I don't know if you can see really well, but see, it sort of comes around. It'll go over this side of the handbrake, and so there'll be, so all of this is designed to be covered in carpet, just this, you know, black stretch carpet. So it gives space for your hand to go around the handbrake on this side, so you can grab it like that and yank the e-brake to do some sick 180s. Jeremy Clarkson knows all about handbrake turns and their effect. And the, you know, just cover everything nice and pretty much encompass it, follow the contours of the floor. The floor's got some weird stuff going on because of the huge, ridiculously massive tunnel I had to build to house the T5. I don't like when the consoles go straight up to here. Like, you know, they flare out up and join the dashboard. That kind of, I don't know, I just don't like it. So I've designed this one. So these lines here, which will be painted red, these will be painted red to match the interior. They sort of disappear from view straight under, like the old school sort of 70s muscle car consoles. So all of that sort of disappears way under there, and you never really see where it ends. You can see you can see my bloody China mat up here, pointing with my little toe. So I've got to glue carpet to all that as well, just to make it look a bit better. You can't really see it when you're sitting in the car, but that's factory EH carpet. And here's a good example of how big the tunnel is. This is factory EH carpet, right? And this is the gap in it. Right? So if that was a factory tunnel, that would be able to join. And it does not, because tunnel est massive. Alright, next bit, I'll bend up some TIG rods. They're TIG rods, they're 2.4 steel TIG rods that have been left out in the weather, so they're rusty, so I'm just going to use them for this. Alright, this is my first bit sort of bent up. So the good thing is, because you can bend it any way you want, and bend steel TIG, it'll hold its frame form pretty good and actually have a bit of structure to it. I will add bits in that join it all together. We'll see that at the end. Make it like a lattice. So you can see that just curls away. You can, when you sit them in place, it just, you know, does everything you need it to do. Hooks in under and happily follows the line of the carpet there. So I'll just keep going, taping bits to it, join them up and show you guys the finished product. Alright, so here's the first bit I'm going to join. So that's the bit at the back that slots in nice. Here's the piece that I want to continue right through to the front of the top. And so all I do is tape them together like so, and it gives a little bit of structure to it and keeps it all aligned. So on its way through, it can pick up whatever it needs to pick up and make it work. Okay, one eternity later, and here we are. You can see this has sort of got, you know, it's got some shape and whatnot. It fits the curve nice. It's got this cool little hooey here that goes over the bit in the floor. Alright, so now I get to take this console out, hang all these up, weld some new tabs on it, make sure this bolts down as it should, and then add fabric and add fibreglass resin. Alright, back into it, run you guys around this. So got them both fixed to the frame. You can see just little tabs bent around the edge of the TIG rod and tech screwed in. So now what I've got to do is take out all of these tech screws and replace them with M6 bolts so that I can so that I can remove these pieces once they're hardened. And I need to take them off and wrap them in black cloth, or at least this top edge of them in black cloth, and then I can screw it back on and then stretch the black cloth over the frame to give me the result I need and want. See, these are nice and close here where it'll run on the carpet, just really close to the mounts that I made. Pretty stoked, should come out good. Right, here we go. So this is the right hand side. Use some an old jumper. This is left around and it became a rag, so see I've used clamps and stuff to pull all the material tight, and it's got a layer of fiberglass tape on it, just glassed on. Not serious, but hasn't I don't like this material. It's not it's quite light. It's pretty, like, it's very, I guess, loose. It's like it's very elastic. Generally I like t-shirt. T-shirt seems to work best. So I'll do this side. This side will be much easier because it just doesn't have all of the ins and outs and curves and shit that this side has. I also have to, once this is all hard, to trim out this section here for the handbrake. What I'll do is I'll trim all of the excess off, and then I actually like to fiberglass along the back of it and just hold all these edges down, make it all nice. So I'll wait till that goes off and then we'll do that. Right, stretched out the left hand side. Yeah, that's just t-shirt and cut up and stretched over the whole thing in one piece. Pretty cool. You can see the light coming through, so you can see sort of how it's lens flare shit, how it stretches over. This actually, if you have a look, you see it bows out a bit under tension, and that's going to give it really just a nice shape to the. You can reduce that by stretching it less along its lengthways and more this way, then it will suck in flat. But I've left it like this for this time. I think it looks good, and it helps to sort of get me past this nasty bulge in the floor. So having that bulb out there will just sort of really just make that nice and neat. Pretty pumped with that. Okay, so I'm going to go mix up some resin and throw it on there. So that's one layer of glass on the left side. The underneath is still a bit damp, so I just did stuff it and put it down anyway. It's all getting covered, so it doesn't have to be brilliant. Started to trim off the back behind here. So you can see how once it's all gone hard, it just hangs on. It doesn't want to pull away from anything. So that can just all be cleaned up and smoothed up with a grinder. And then I've got to work on trying to get the fucking thing apart, because these are going to be a right pain in the ass to get all get undone. Probably have to chop the end off them. They're pretty long. Let's see one there. That's a good one. Fuck, what's wrong with my focus? Piece of shit. There we go. So I'll have to nick the top off these, get a grinder in here, nick the top off them, pull that nut off and then crack them loose. The actual plan is to get a thin grinder blade and just go down under the edge of the steel just to break it away, and it'll help give a little bit of distance between the to allow for the material I'm covering this in to just fold over the top. I'll make these holes here, like that's drilled out for a 6mm, and I put an M6 bolt in it. What I'll do is I'll actually, once I undo everything, I'll actually drill these holes bigger, or maybe even just cut them out as a slot, the holes in the tabs, so I can get the sides in nice and easy. But it gives me just some adjustment, so I can just, just makes life easier. Bit of adjustment always sort of helps you. Looks like a bag of shit right now, but it's going to look pretty good once it's all done. And I need to get these sides done so that I can finish and paint these bits of metal. Paint my sample cards, send them into the dudes at the paint shop, get my paint matched, paint the car, drive it, park it, have someone smash a trolley against it.